Hello. I'll wait for some people to come through. See who's out there in the live universe. Hitting all my peoples. Boom. Hi. Actually, Jonathan Davis. That's what's up. No, I did not fill in my eyebrows today. Yes, the sky is orange. All that. Yes, the sky is orange. My background is pink. And I'm here to talk with y'all. I have been training my mind and my spirit these last couple of weeks. And it has just made me realize just how limited people's viewpoints are, how negative people are, and how toxic that is. You know, toxic like the orange sky outside of my window, yet people keep going outside like the sky isn't toxic. Like there are literally ashes falling from the sky, and everybody's outside. It's crazy. But with that being said, you know, the title of this live is "What Do You See?" And I was reading this book. Okay, it's called the Yamas and Niyamas. Niyamas. Whatever. I don't speak whatever language this is, but you know, it's all about the limbs of yoga, right? And I read a different part out of this on my Facebook today, but I've been stuck on this section, which is all about satya, which is truthfulness, right? And so I took a picture of this section and I shared it with so many people, and it just made me think about, you know, truth is really relative, right? Because my truth is not necessarily your truth, and they both could be the truth at the same time. And so a lot of times when we only see things from our perspective, we call that the truth. And we tell other people they're not being truthful or they're lying just because they're not seeing what we see. And so in this section, it talks about the fluidity of truth, right? And how, you know, truth can change. What's true this morning may not be true by this evening, right? So for example, if, I woke up single today, by the end of today, I could elope and get married to somebody out there, future husband, wherever you are. You know, the sky, when I woke up this morning, was orange. It could be blue by the end of the day. Who knows what the government is putting into the air, okay? So the section, truth is fluid, right? And it says from this book that I'm reading, it's backwards, but y'all feel me, right? So it says the fluidity of truth also requires that we clean our lenses and periodically get new glasses with which to observe the world. Our seeing is limited by all the groups that shape us, right? And the groups meaning the different groups or groups of friends or entities or institutions that we're connected with, right? They all shape us in our truth, as well as by our experience. What we believe, whether we are aware of that belief or not, informs everything we do and every choice we make. To be a bold person of truth is to constantly look for what we are not seeing and to expose ourselves to different views than the ones we hold sacred. And then it says, what are you not seeing? Because you are seeing what you are seeing, right? What are you not seeing? Because you're seeing what you're seeing. That is the question that has had my mind just, I don't know, excited. Because I think, you know, we're so limited. We get so distracted about every little thing, right? We get so distracted. So much so because we just feel like we have to take in all this information. Like we have to constantly be consuming information. You have to constantly be online and hearing the latest news about everything, right? So here in California, in the Bay Area, I don't know what it's like in Southern California. Everybody woke up and saw that the sky was orange. And that's what everybody has been fixated on all damn day. This whole orange sky, right? Everybody's been taking pictures of it, reposting pictures of it. Like we get it. We know the sky is orange, right? And so the question says, What are you not seeing by focusing on what you're seeing? Let me say the question right. I want to get it right because these are not my words here. I lost it. What are you not seeing because you are seeing what you're seeing, right? So what are you not seeing by focusing on this orange sky? What are you not seeing by focusing on this damn election that's coming in November? What are you missing? What are you overlooking? What are you not seeing by focusing in on your singular truth? Right? I'm not saying that it's not true or it's not a fact that the sky is orange, that there's an election coming in November, that the cops who killed Breonna Taylor still haven't been arrested. All of that's true. But what else are you not seeing? What else are you not seeing? What are you overlooking? What are you missing? Right? This often happens in arguments. You know, people say you got two ears and one mouth because blah, blah, blah. However that goes. Y'all know how it goes. But, you know, often we listen to respond, or we don't listen at all, and then we just be ready to respond, right? Because that person's talking and we're just like, I can't wait to say what I want to say. And you're missing it. You're missing the point. You're missing an opportunity to do something different, an opportunity to begin again, an opportunity to have a different frame of mind and a better attitude. And I was talking to a couple of people this week who are just like, man, life sucks. Does it? What sucks about life? That may be true in some aspects, but maybe not in another, right? People are like, I can't do anything because of COVID. Really? Right? What are you not seeing? What is possible for you? Right? What do you see? Cory Booker, you know, he was running for president, right? I think he was running for something, Senate. Cory Booker, y'all know who that is, right? He back in the days when I used to go to church, my church had this conference, which is basically about leadership, and he came because he spends a lot of time in the Bay Area. He is a Stanford alum, so you know he's out here. So he came to the church and he did this conference, and he was talking about living in New Jersey and how he wanted to help the community. And he was working with these community organizers, and they were just, he was telling them, like, gosh, this, the city is just so messed up, and it's so dirty, and there's so many homeless people, and, pointing out everything that was wrong in the city. He was saying, like, this is so hard to change, so hard to do. And the community organizer said, yeah, it'll be really hard for you to make change if you're only looking at what's currently there, right? You have to look at not what's in front of you, but you have to look at what is possible from what currently exists. And I don't think we do enough of that. We don't do enough of envisioning. We look at things and we try to avoid it, especially things that are unpleasant that we don't like, right? If you were to go to Oakland right now and you were walking in downtown Oakland and some homeless person asked you for money, you'd be like, oh my God, get away, COVID, whatever. And then you would say, oh, I'm never coming back down this street again, because you don't want to encounter those homeless people again, right? You don't want to see, what you don't want to see, right? And so you probably wouldn't come back there. You say, oh my God, Oakland's just been running to the ground. The city's going down. So many homeless people. Gosh, you're going to avoid seeing that. So you might go to some nicer areas. I don't know why I always get so tired as soon as I start talking. But you might avoid that, right? Because you're seeing what's there. And for a lot of people who grow up in those type of environments, who grow up in poverty, you're like, man, I'm tired of seeing this every day. You don't think that you can change it, and you want out of that, right? Because that's what you see. But for some other people, at least I know for me growing up, I knew for sure that I couldn't grow in an environment where I was constantly seeing poverty, death, and violence. And so I left and went to college, but I knew that I would come back because I knew that something else and something different was possible. And I knew that if I worked with young people, I could help them see and help them think how to envision a different life for themselves. But we get so stuck in what's right in front of us, right? People will tell you to have tunnel vision, right? Which is sometimes helpful for achieving your goals. But you also have to have that grand vision where you can see everything, that panoramic view. Sunburst Studios, who are you? Where you can see that panoramic vision, right? Where you can see that larger vision. Because if it doesn't make sense in your universe, it's not going to make sense on the micro level, right? The things that you do day to day have to make sense for that larger goal and vision. So what do you see? What are you seeing? What are you not seeing? All right, let me go back to the question because I bookmarked it. What are you not seeing because you are seeing what you are seeing? I say this too about Instagram. You know, a couple of years ago, and I do this every couple of months, I just go through and I start deleting people. And I start deleting things because I want to make my Instagram something that I'm on all day. Like, if I check the screen time on my phone, I don't know why I'm pointing over there because my phone's right here. But if I check the screen usage on my phone, I'm on my phone probably 12 to 13 hours a day on different apps. You know, a lot of it's social media. A lot of it is, you know, Robinhood, checking my stocks and stuff like that. But, like, I am on my phone. So, because I have the choice in what I get to see on my phone, I make sure I'm seeing the things that I want to see. So if people start posting stuff that starts to upset my spirit, irritate my soul, if I have to roll my eyes too much, if I have to keep scrolling past too much, I'm just going to delete and unfollow. There are a lot of things that have moved to my business page because I'm like, okay, this person or what they're offering is more suitable to what I'm doing over there with beauty and skincare. So I don't need to necessarily, when I'm logging onto my personal page, see a whole bunch of naked women. But women buy my skincare products, so they need to be on my business page, right? With that being said, if I can control what's on my social media, right? I'm controlling what I see. I can control what I read. I control or filter the type of news that I'm getting, right? And all this could be done for better or worse, because there's some people that do that because they're hella racist, so you just don't want to see black people or what they have going on. That too, right? But you could filter that, right? It's a choice. So if it's a choice for you to see things like that, then it's also a choice when you view things as negative, right? I had a friend this week. He was like, I was talking about stress, and I was saying, like, you know, God, I just finished editing all of the podcast things. I was talking about all the stuff I did this week. And he was like, that's dope. And I was like, yeah, and it's stressful. He was like, oh, you don't know stress until you know, you've been blah, 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 blah. And I was like, right? And I didn't say anything. He was like, what? I was like, I'm not going to say anything. One, because I don't want to take away from your story. I have nothing to add to that. You're right. I've never been to jail. I've never technically been homeless. Like, I've never had those struggles. You know, Tupac says, no man alive has ever witnessed struggles I survived. Like, I haven't done or been through what you've been through, right? But it's a choice how you see that. It's a choice because you can look at that like, damn, like, I've had a tough life. I've been through this. I've been through that. Or you can look at it like, damn, all of that brought me here. That's a choice. What do you see? How do you see it? Right? I was telling him, I was like, yeah, you've been through all of that, but you have this lived experience that most people don't have. You have this lived experience that you're now writing about and telling your story, and that helps you tell other people's story. You don't have that. In the same way, you know, most people don't have that. In the same way, I have something that you don't have, right? While I'm saying what stress to me is not necessarily stress to you. And so, right, I'm not trying to win the struggle Olympics. Your story is your story, right? But it's a choice how you view it. So you could either take that, you could either look at that and say, you know, what are you seeing or what are you not seeing? But what did you learn from that experience, and what are you using that experience for? And how is that moving you forward? You will have a lot of unpleasant experiences. You know, when I was younger, my mom used to say, I used to complain about stuff that I didn't want to do, right? And like, you know, back in those days, if you were in my generation, the 30s, the OG stages now, if your mom told you to do something, you did it. Like, you didn't have a choice of like, oh, I don't want to do that right now. I'm playing my game. Like my son tries to tell me sometimes, right? You didn't have a choice. You did it. And so my mom used to always say, like, you know, in this life, you're going to have to do some things you don't want to do until you can do what you want to do, right? So a lot of the things that we do, like, yeah, it's frustrating. Like, yeah, I don't want to be in the house all the time, right? But being in the house all the time has really worked out great for me. Like, people are saying, oh my God, 2020 is the worst year ever. 2020 is like, kind of looking like my year. Like, this has been a year that I have been the most focused, the year that I have accomplished the most, the year where I have just kind of eliminated excuses in my life. But it's how you see it, right? People are like, oh my God, when is 2020 going to be over? I'm like, man, I kind of like riding this wave. I like it, right? So it depends on how you see it. Also, what are you not seeing, right? As much as you need to be focused in order to accomplish stuff, as much as you need to, like I said, sometimes you have to have that tunnel vision, but you also need to see the big picture. What are you missing? Who are you missing or overlooking? I say all the time, I was telling somebody, or a while ago, another friend. I have a lot of guy friends, y'all. I was talking to my guy friend. He was like, "Yeah, you post a lot of really good stuff, and like you should be going viral. You should be having more followers. You should be getting more likes." And I was like, you know what? That's important, I guess, to somebody. People always say like, social media is not real life. Social media doesn't matter. And then they be counting their followers. Like, y'all see the post of somebody who pretends like, they're too cool for social media. And then the algorithm, and I still don't know what that means, changes. And then people are like, I'm losing followers. Follow my backup page or whatever it is, right? People get all serious about followers. But I was telling him, I was like, who's meant to see me is going to see me. And when more people are meant to see me, then more people are meant to see me. I may not be viral. I don't have 1 million followers, but the people that follow me, I really like. I enjoy. They're good to me. They listen. They respect what I have to say, and that's that. I can look at what's not there, and I can look at the numbers and say, okay, I don't have followers. I'm not going to post anything. I'm not going to say anything. I'm not going to build my brand. I'm not going to start my podcast. I'm not going to whatever. But, or I could, because I could see what's not there. I can see, I see all these people posting things, and it may be my story that touches somebody. It may be me that somebody's looking for. And if I don't put that out there, then how are they going to find it? Because I'm seeing more than I'm able to physically see. You have to have that that mindset, that faith. Martin Luther King says, you walking on this. There's something about walking on a staircase without seeing the steps, right? You have to be able to do that. So, what do you see? Seeing what's not there, and what are you missing? What are you overlooking? And this is not all about being positive all the time, because I'm definitely not positive all the time. If you pay any attention to my page, I'm definitely not. I'm oftentimes pessimistic. I'm realistic. I get angry. I get sad, and all that stuff. I go through a range of emotions, and that's okay. But this is just about shifting your mindset. My accountability group. That's the hardest thing. That's the thing that people are struggling with, right? And it's funny because I do this accountability program probably twice a year, and I'm gonna start another group soon. So if you're interested, let me know. But so the accountability group is tiered, and some people we just have like a group chat that they connect with and check in with, and then some people work with me one-on-one. And all the people are like, they come to this accountability program thinking I'm going to have all the answers. I'm going to solve their problem. And I'm going to be the one that's going to make them finally follow through on their dreams. But it's like, if you don't change your mindset, there's nothing I can do. Because at the moment where your life starts to shift and it starts to change, you're going to give up, because you're going to tell yourself, oh, I usually quit. I never follow through on my diet. Oh, I've been trying to start this business for 10 years and it's just never taken off. It's just not for me. It's just not my time, right? But you're not seeing the benefits. You're not seeing the goals, right? I give people tasks to do, and then they say, oh, well, that won't work for me. Have you tried it? No, they haven't tried it. They're just telling me no, right? People are like, oh my God, how do you blah, blah, blah. And I tell them, be like, oh, really? I would never. That's why you're not accomplishing your goals, basically, right? So what are you not seeing because you're seeing what you are seeing? What are y'all not seeing? What are y'all missing? How can I help you see? There's another part in this book. I really like it. I tell you, I'm getting my yoga teacher certification. And I'm going to be needing to teach people some yoga. So I'll be reaching out. And we could do a Zoom yoga session just between you and I. And then you can sign off saying that I have completed my hours. Okay? Or you could just sign off saying that I completed my hours. However y'all want to do this, but I'm trying to get this certification, okay? While I got some time here in this house. There's another section of this book, which I think is really good. And it was basically talking about, hi, oh, you're here for it. Okay, we'll do it soon. What was it saying? I forgot y'all. I lost my whole train of thought because I got really excited about the yoga. Oh, got it. Okay, this is what I was going to say. So, in not seeing and focusing only on what we see, like what's nearest to us, right? We miss out on the big picture, as I was saying. And in doing so, it's like we essentially choose to lie to ourselves. And because we lie to ourselves, we never get to really experience our full selves, right? Because we make a choice to lie to ourselves, because we make a choice to limit our viewpoint, to limit our lens, to constantly focus in instead of going out and focusing on the big picture, right? We lie to ourselves. And so we don't become our full selves, okay? When you're real and when you're standing in your authentic truth, you're showing up as your authentic self, you will experience a range of emotions. You will constantly go from the micro to the macro. You will better relate to other people. You will better understand yourself. You will start to develop boundaries that protect your spirit. Like I was saying about social media, I immediately, when I was going to church, people always like pray for me. Oh, I'm going to pray for you. I'd be like, okay, can you pray that I have a spirit of discernment, right? I don't like when people just randomly pray for me. I don't know what you're praying for, right? If you truly believe that you're praying to somebody and that something's going to come of this, I want you to pray for what I want, not for what you think I need, right? And so I'd be like, pray that I have discernment, right? So that when I meet people, when people follow me, and I don't have I guess I have a lot of followers. My son's friends think I have a lot of followers, like 2,000 people. But every time somebody new follows me, I go and check out their page. And immediately, if my spirit, right, if my little spidey senses, my spirit gets like a bad feeling, then I'll just block that person, right? I don't care. Like, I keep my page public for that reason. I don't like having unpleasant interactions, right? And if it's my choice, which is always my choice because I always have a choice, then I don't want to do it. I don't want to sit there and pretend because I'm definitely not going to feel uncomfortable in my own space. And my social media page is my own space. I wish they would call it my space again. I think it was brilliant. I love it. But it's my own space, right? When I work with people, that's my work. And the work that I do, I'm working on projects. It's not like a one and done. I'm going to be spending a lot of time with people. And it's not just like, I don't like you. My spirit, right? Because I'm in tune with myself and I'm real with myself, I understand the difference between spirit and ego, right? Sometimes my ego is like, damn, I don't want to work with them. But that's my ego. Sometimes my spirit is like, look, this ain't going to work. And you have to honor that. Some people call it intuition, whatever. I just know my ancestors are looking out for me. And they tap me on my shoulder and be like, no, nope. And I recognize that now because there are times where I felt that and I ignored that, and there was not a good result from that. I interviewed my brother on the podcast, and we were talking about childcare randomly, okay, because we both have children. And he was saying, "Hey, remember that one time you got fired because you brought Devin to work?" And this was when my son was like a baby, right? And I said to that, I was like, "Yeah, that was the one time ever in my life that I got fired from a job." but it was a job that I didn't want or didn't care for. So when I had my son, I was a junior in college. I was in New York, came back home, took some summer school classes to make up some stuff that I needed to make. I was gone a semester, came back, went back to finish my senior year, and then I came back. Okay, graduated in 2009. My son was born in 2008. Graduated in 2009. Height of the recession. Couldn't find a job. I was supposed to be going into journalism. Couldn't find a job. I ended up bagging groceries at Safeway. I got tired of that because they had me working all these kind of crazy hours. And when you're a grocery bagger, you also have to go get the carts that people just left down the street and wherever. And it was like, to be honest, I was embarrassing because, you go away to college. I walked that stage. I got my degree. And I was bagging groceries at Safeway. And everybody knew because, Richmond is a small town. You can't hide. They know it's me. And people are like, oh my God, how was school? What are you doing here? Bagging groceries. Making money, Never too proud to work. Never. So I'm bagging the groceries. I'm like, man, I need another job. I need a job that's more flexible because daycare costs. Everybody in my family works. Nobody's just sitting at home to watch my child. So I had to pay for something. So I'm like, okay, if I could find a job where I could work like in the evenings, that way I could kind of do a trade-off, right? Everybody goes to work in the day. While you coming home, you take my child, and then I could go to work. And so I found this job being like an after-school care person, which is perfect because most of my family has worked in schools and worked with kids, right? So I took this job because I thought it was going to be in the evening. And so the trade-off was supposed to happen, but they were like, no, we need you here at 12 because you're going to be doing like kindergartners too. I was like, damn, like the little kids. Okay. So I was like, all right. But being that I was going to be on my own, like I was in charge of this thing, I was like, oh, should be fine, to bring my son. One, the job was terrible because I didn't want to work with kids. This was still in my I don't want to be a teacher phase. Right. So I didn't want to work with kids. I definitely didn't want to work with young kids at that age. You have to be too engaged with them. I knew that because I had a 1-year-old now. Right. And then 3, the job, it didn't pay well. And so I did the interview and I'm sitting in the interview the whole time like, damn, I hope I don't get this job. And the lady offered me the job in the interview. And of course, you take over. I was like, okay, yes. Like, when can you start? Of course, as soon as possible when you're looking for a job. You always say that. She's like, come tomorrow. I was like, great. And it wasn't great. And so I came, and it just so happened the lady who hired me, my boss came, and it was like fun. The kids was watching a movie, we're eating popcorn, all the things, and my son was asleep in his stroller. She was like, hey, let me talk to you. What's the baby doing here? All this kind of stuff, right? And she's like, well, yeah, after today, I'm gonna have to let you go. And I was like, okay, so can I get my check tomorrow or today? And I got my check, and it was great. And I took my son to Chuck E. Cheese the next day when I went and cashed my check and everything. But that job, I knew it wasn't for me, and I took it anyway, right? I lied to myself. I ignored my intuition and my spirit, and I was just like, no, I'm just going to do it because I just got to do it because I don't have any choices. I have to take the job because they offered it because that's what I got to do because I'm not in charge of myself. And you totally are. You decide what you see, and you decide what you allow in your life and what you don't allow in your life. And I learned that, right, from that experience. And that's on everything. That's on jobs. That's on relationships. That's on social media, on everything. You are in control of your life. You get to decide who's a part of your life. You get to decide what you get to see, who has access to you and who don't, right? And so anytime things come up like that I just know for myself and my spirit, this does not align with what I'm doing. This is not going to grow me or make me better. This is not going to be good for me. And that's not to say that if somebody's spirit conflicts with my spirit, it doesn't mean that anything's wrong with that person. It doesn't mean that anything's wrong with me. It just means that our spirits are conflicting. That person could be a perfectly happy, fine, well, great person. Everybody loves them. They're godly. They give to charity. They're vegan. They love pets. Whatever. They could be a fine person. they're just not my person, right? They're not going to be the person that I build with and grow from and whatever and work with. Our spirits just don't connect. And so I just really had to learn how to walk away from things, right? Don't just unfollow people, block people. Block them. Delete them completely out of your life and never look back. Ever. Okay. But anyways, the book that I've been reading from, right? The Yamas and Niyamas. I'm sure there's a better way to say that, but I'm not a yogi yet, y'all. So I'll learn the pronunciations. But it's by Deborah Adele or Adele. So, I've been getting a lot of gems out of this. And I'm also reading Sacred Woman by Queen Afua, which is more like a textbook than it is a book. But also good stuff. Like I said, I've been on this, I don't want to say spiritual journey. I'm training myself to be a better spiritual warrior, right? So, I got my crystal grid popping, my sage, been taking sips of droplets of oil of oregano, been like mostly vegan, and the spirits and the truth is just aligning. It's amazing how those small changes in your life can essentially change everything, right? Can change everything. Small changes can change everything because whatever happens on the micro level also happens on the macro level, which is why it's so important to take inventory of what you see, because you have to see the details and you have to see the big picture. Whew, that's a lot. I'm going to go read y'all comments because I realize when I post these to IGTV, I lose all the comments. And so I never really get to hear or see what y'all say or anything like that. But if y'all have questions, let me know. I'm here to talk. I'm here to spread light. Love and light, what people say. Yes, Cory Booker did one for president. Thank you for clarifying. I love that y'all are so political and into all that stuff because y'all keep me ignorant. And then I could just randomly ask y'all for things. All the ways. What I miss. Yes, discernment. You have to. Somebody said show the book again. Candace can see and see. 2016, I don't know if you hear. This is the book. Which book have I found the most enlightening so far? You know what? As you know, my dear friend, I have a lot of books and I'm constantly buying books and I usually always let the books choose me. So last year I was like, you know what? I have this Maya Angelou book on my shelf. I have not read it in a while. I'm going to reread I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings. And then I realized in reading that, because I have a newer edition, that she has a series of books. So my goal was to read all of her books. And once you start reading, and I read a lot of nonfiction, mostly nonfiction. So every nonfiction book refers to other books. So that led me to some other books that I was reading. And so I just finished Begin Again. Something Claude is the author, and it's about James Baldwin. And in that book, it was just about, really that book is about growing through pain, right? So, and it's also about controversy and really growing up and changing your mind. Like the thing that I said earlier about truth, right? That was true in the morning might not be true in the afternoon. And so it's this transformation that James Baldwin had, this conflict that he had with America and how he kept running to other countries trying to figure out what was it about America that troubled him so much, right? Why did he care to educate white people about race? And so in the end, his transformation was like, you know what? I may have gotten it wrong. I don't fully understand. So I'm just going to begin again and start over. And so I was reading that along with reading Sacred Women, which had me on this cleanse, right? And so I was doing the cleanse, and then I was like, okay, I'm going to do I'm doing the yoga certification. It doesn't start till the end of September. I was like, let me get caught up on my books. And I'm very much a person I let the books choose me, so to speak. And so I was also rereading, I think we read this, Emergent Strategy. And so I was reading that with my book club, and all of the things have been aligning about truth, about resiliency, about authenticity, and all of that. And so when I picked up this book, I'm reading this in the Gita. And so when I picked up this book, I was like, okay, let me read a couple pages and see if this is where I'm going to go. And the first couple pages, I was like, oh, okay, this is where I'm at. So I would say what has been the most useful? This is the most useful because I think when people do yoga, a lot of people think of yoga as just exercise, but it's really, it's a lifestyle, right? It's a lifestyle. And this is about the lifestyle, about how to live your life, really being a whole, complete, well, carefree, authentic, happy person. So I would say this. This is what I'm feeling. And sacred woman is cool too, but you have to be ready to be on that sacred journey because you're going to have to change how you eat. You have to change when you wake up. I've been waking up at 4 o'clock every morning for the past 3 weeks. Drinking lemon water, taking oil of oregano, bladder whack, all that stuff. Trying to cleanse my womb. What other questions y'all have about what I said? I said womb and somebody left. Not trying to hear that. Fine. Yeah, but it's a good book. It's about all that. I'm also going to read, I have all these books, Medical Apartheid. My friend Daryl, who's going to be on the podcast soon, y'all will hear him. He recommended a bunch of books. If you go to his page, it's Book Hop. He just reads all the time. He's trying to be he's in school to be a history professor, and he's doing his dissertation on, he's trying to write a comprehensive history of the New York chapter of the Black Panther Party. So he reads everything all the time. He probably reads a book a day. And so he recommended Jesmyn Ward, who has a lot of other books out, but the one he recommended to me was Men We Reaped. So after I finish this, I'm probably going to read that, as well as my book club is reading All About Love by Bell Hooks. So, I'll be reading. I got to get back into, I started reading Bobby Brown's autobiography, but it's a little too much crack for me, so I took a break. What else, y'all? What else y'all want to know? I got a few minutes before school starts. I'm homeschooling my son, so we do afternoons. I work in the morning, and then we do school in the afternoon. But I'm out here. Y'all want me to read some more quotes from the book? Something else in this book, and I'll do a whole nother live on that another day. But talks about how love is forgiveness, and that you can't love without forgiveness. I'm kind of struggling with that, so I'm gonna sit with that some more. Anything else y'all want to know while I have you? When's my next live? I don't know. This is very random for me. I just pop up, and sometimes y'all pop up with me, and sometimes I put it on my IGTV and that. But the point, I was just trying to shed some light, bring some love and light to y'all, because y'all get on my nerves with this orange sky, with the election, with everything. Y'all know how y'all do. Yes, the podcast info is in my bio. We got 3 episodes. It comes out every other week. This Tuesday we got an episode. What do you call it? Double feature, double header. It's a 2-part episode. So episode 4 and 5. Because it was long. We talked about a lot. We talked about business. We talked about relationships. We talked about Kobe. We talked about PayPal. We talked about moving to Atlanta and how it changes your life. We talked about just everything, just how to be your authentic self. We talked about how to set boundaries with people. All this stuff. I make this podcast to share with the world, but it's really for me. It's just me talking to people that I know and people that I want to know better. and asking them questions that I have that I want answers to. And that maybe I want answers to too, but really like the things that I want answers to. So we talked about that. And you'll find, a lot of these people have been my friends on social media for years. And have never met them. I'm an OG here in the internet social media streets because I think I was 12 or 13 when I got when I first stepped foot in the AOL chat room, and I've been on the internet since then. There's probably 3 people that follow me today on this page that I met in my AOL chat room days, and we are homies. 2 of the people I met, one of them I have never met to this day. Best of internet friends, right? Or people who met me when I was doing, I was a freelance journalist and I had my music blog, and they follow me from all my Twitter arguments, and here they are. So, I keep general connections with people. I tap in, make sure everybody's good from time to time, and here we are. Here they are. Yes, ASL. But you can't ask the S anymore because we are non-binary. Yup. Somebody said, and that's the problem. Well, that's where we are today. You can't ask those types of questions. You just gotta, that's what it is. Antoine's in here. Antoine, you want to go live with me? Antoine's on the podcast. Who else in here on the podcast? Who else? As soon as I start seeing people want to go live, they just hide and run away. They leave the live. But that's that, y'all. This book has been really giving me life. Antoine was one of the people that I text with that quote, and he was just like, whatever. No, he didn't say that. I texted a bunch of people. He doesn't want to go live. There's that. I told Antoine last night, the Versus announced the Patti LaBelle and Gladys Knight concert, and I said I needed a date, and he was like, why? So that sounds like something you would go to a date to, like if you was going to Yoshi's, people in the Bay Area, if you was going to Yoshi's, you'd be like, oh my God, I need to bring a date to the Patti LaBelle, whatever. Brandy and Monica was like, like if you're in school and people would be like spreading rumors like somebody gonna fight and you show up just to see if it's gonna happen. That's what I was looking for in Brandy and Monica. That was not a date thing. And then the Erykah Badu and Jill Scott, I didn't watch that, so I'm not really a fan of either one of those people. But it was like Teddy Riley and Babyface was more of like a comedy thing because, they had, I think they started that battle 3 times, but they had so many technical issues and stuff like that. So, Patti LaBelle and Gladys Knight, it's a date. So I'll be dating myself. In fact, there's this app, how you get the sponsored ads. So, a few months ago, I was like, my friends, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of my friends, both of my best friends, found their husbands through a dating app. Okay? So everybody's like, Brady, you should go on a dating app. A moment of silence for that, right? So anyways, because of that, so now I get all these like random dating app sponsored ads, and one of them was like, it was like asking all these questions, and I asked all these pain point questions like, have you been struggling to find the one? Have you tried online dating and it doesn't work? And I'm like, yeah. And it's like, click here, and you click here, and it's like the Date Yourself app. God, if I'm meant to be alone, just say that. Like, you don't have to have these ads and have me clicking and all this, right? I think it's because I never send those chain letters. This is my punishment. I don't know what just happened. This is my punishment. I get to sit here and talk to you all on live. Yep. That's what I get to do. So let me wrap this up and just give y'all the quote one more time. And of course I lost it again, y'all, but y'all know it. About what do you see? What are you not seeing? I'm going to find it again. Give me a moment. It's in here. See, because I'm not seeing what I want to see. What am I not seeing? Antoine said them chain letters were real. The Facebook ones were much more aggressive, so I think it's those. People inbox this to 10 people. Okay. I didn't read this part to y'all, but here it goes. Look, I'm going to have to edit this video because it says, can you trust yourself? Can you risk telling yourself the truth? Can you keep the promises you make to yourself and to others? We must be willing to take the risk to tell ourselves the truth and grow ourselves into someone who can trust themselves. We will then be able to easily bear others' trust in us. Being truthful with ourselves makes us trustworthy and frees up all the time we normally spend in guilt and regret from our dishonesty. And then it's the part that I start off with, y'all. The fluidity of truth also requires that we clean our lenses and periodically get new glasses with which to observe the world. Our seeing is limited by all the groups that shape us, as well as by our experience. What we believe, whether we are aware of that belief or not, informs everything we do and every choice we make. To be a bold person of truth is to constantly look for what we are not seeing and to expose ourselves to different views than the ones we hold sacred. Okay? What are you not seeing because you are seeing what you are seeing? That's that on that, y'all. Y'all don't have any other questions? What am I gonna do? Go do something productive. Or take a nap, or read some more of this book. Yes, Antoine, the chain letters were real. Who else is in here? If you haven't said hi, say hi. Yeah, but all that to say, expand your horizons, control what you can control, which you actually have a lot of things in your control. You can control your attitude. You can control what you see. You control who's in your life. You control what you don't see. You can control what you eat, what you drink, and all that good stuff. So do that. And then if y'all want to read more stuff with me, you can join the book club. Link is in my bio. You can listen to the podcast. Link is in my bio. You can support me and my entrepreneurial endeavors financially. The link is in my bio. You do that by becoming a patron. You can buy some merch. I got t-shirts, posters, notebooks, pencils. If you want to learn from me, you can purchase one of my courses. The link is in my bio. The moral of this story is the link is in my bio. Everything's there. And I'm there. And I'm out here. So, if y'all got something else you want to say, you got book recommendations for me. You want to chat more about this book, about truth, all that, just hit me up. I'm around. I'm working. My coworkers in here. I'm working. I sent some emails today. As long as I send one email a day, y'all, I can stay employed. That's what I've learned. I don't know how it works at your job, but at my job, that's how it goes. Just one email. Uno. And you got to be strategic about when you send it. Because if you send it too early, then it's like, it gets a little weird. But you got to send the one. You send one email that you created and then you reply all, thank you so much, to somebody else's email. I am not a good employee, y'all. Please don't listen to me. Because if y'all get fired and y'all don't have a job, I heard that unemployment is not being made available to everybody. So don't be like, Brandy said send one email. Don't do that. Yes, and like I said, I'm getting my yoga certification. So if you want to do a yoga class with me, maybe I'll do a group class. Maybe I'll do one-on-one. trying to do one-on-one because I got to do a lot of hours. So I need this to, let's do a yoga class. It'll be fun. I'm not, you won't hurt yourself. It'll be easy. I might play, got to get my playlist together. It's so funny, right? Doing this yoga certification, they're like, you got to have this, you got to have that, you got to plan your sequence. So I was like, I need to get my playlist right, because if the music's not right, nothing good is going to come of this yoga class. I promise you that. So that's what I've been working on in preparation for my yoga classes. I've started 3 different playlists. We'll see which ones I go with, So be prepared. If you want to do yoga, inbox me. And maybe I'll do a Google form and figure out what times and stuff are best for people. There might be some trap yoga. Yep. We'll do that for our, we'll do a gentle flow yoga class, and I'll play some Patty and some Gladys Knight, Antoine. Some Gladys Knight. Is Antoine still here? Because Antoine didn't know Gladys Knight. So I'll play some Gladys Knight. And we'll do a slow yoga flow, some restorative flow, maybe some yin yoga, and then we'll definitely do some trap yoga. I was like, you do it for our PLC meeting? Yeah. I was having a conversation with somebody, because, well, did I post on Instagram or Facebook? I was like, I don't know when Cardi B started speaking for Black people, right? And everyone was like, yeah, because, I still haven't listened to WAP, because why would I? And then I was telling somebody, now that I'm grown, I realize that, the music that I listened to when I was younger was trash. But when I was younger, I didn't know any better. Now that I'm a grown woman, I'm not going to listen to another grown woman, telling me how wet her vagina is. Why would I listen to that, right? When I was younger, I remember I was telling this friend, I was like, yeah, because I remember being at this friend's house, the person I was talking to, and we were trying so hard to do, Ludacris had this song called, what's the song? Something about a handstand, right? And we was trying to do this dance on a handstand. And I remember, like, falling, trying to do the handstand dance, right? For this song. Grossly inappropriate, right? But I was like 14-ish, okay? But now at 33, I'm not going to be, I'm not, okay? But that's that. But, Cardi B apparently speaks for Black people, in case y'all didn't know. And that's that. And Spotify is attacking Joe Budden. And I have nothing to say because Spotify hasn't paid me any money. But, my podcast is there if you want to listen to it. And, if y'all want to be on the podcast, I'm always down to talk to cool and interesting people. So let me know. Yes, Antoine, you didn't know Gladys Knight's music. But you will. Because you're going to come to yoga and listen to the playlist. He is. All right, y'all. Until next time.